George A. Romero created the most influential zombie movie ever with Night of the Living Dead in 1968. Written by John Russo, it tells a bleak story of the zombie outbreak in Pennsylvania. Filmed in black and white and showcasing gore in a disturbing way that cinema hadn't seen yet, with a realistic way of telling the zombie legend that would forever change the genre. With his follow-up, George had helped writing the script with famous Italian director Dario Argento, who also produced. In this film, the scope of the zombie outbreak went global and showed our new heroes hiding out in a mall that was a commentary on the materialistic ways of humans in a modern society. But most of you know this. And what we're here to talk about digs deeper into another country where the series would spawn a whole new franchise. With Dario Argento working on Dawn of the Dead, he had the rights to put the film out in his home country of Italy. Now, instead of releasing the film as is, he recut the movie and had his longtime collaborators in the band Goblin do a new score for the movie. He added some gore, took out some dialogue, and quickened the pace of the film. And most importantly, he added the word zombie to the title. Now, whether you prefer one of the original cuts by Romero or the international cut by Argento, it's always acceptable. But what is more important here is the spin-off series that came next in Italy. Italy was quite known in the 70s and 80s for making unofficial sequels and rip-offs, but none of those hold a candle to the Italian sequels to Argento's Zombie: Dawn of the Dead. Now in Italy, copyright law is more relaxed, letting any movie be marketed as a sequel in name to another movie. This is how they've gotten away with it so much. Most of the times they do have to rename the movie for the American release, which is why later on in this video we will see that exact thing happen to great effect. But for now, let's get back on topic with the success of Argento's cut with Zombie. Producer Fabrizio De Angelis quickly greenlit a sequel. Lucio Fulci was chosen to direct after a different director turned the project down. And he would also later claim to have not known that there was a 2 in the title or that it ties to Dawn of the Dead as a sequel. And who can blame him, as the movie really has no connection to Dawn besides that the undead are in it. The movie focused on the mysterious disappearance of a scientist whose boat shows up abandoned in New York City. His daughter, with the help of a journalist, make their way to a Caribbean island infested with zombies that is being blamed on a voodoo curse. The film was a huge success, and is most known for 2 scenes, including a shark being attacked by a zombie and a very gory eye scene. Due to the money it was making in its home country of Italy, it of course was brought to Britain and America. In Britain, it was renamed Zombie Flesh Eaters and quickly found its way onto the video's nasty list. In America, the 2 was dropped and the spelling was changed, adding an E after the I, as was the standard spelling of zombie in most English-speaking countries. And of course, with all this success, Lucio Fulci was hired to do a sequel with Zombie 3. The in-name only sequel would be co-directed by Bruno Mattei, as Fulci's health was failing him by 1988. Fulci would later say it wasn't his health that led him to not finishing the film, but arguments about the script's ending, stating that it was just dreadful. This film would focus on more action, with a plot based on a scientist creating a biological weapon called Death 1. As the case with most horror movie tropes, the deadly virus would leak out and contaminate soldiers and villagers, killing them and bringing them back as the living dead. It would be released as a sequel to Zombie 2 in Britain as Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, and in the US as Zombie 3. These in-name only sequels would continue to be made with ever-changing names in other countries, creating a very confusing case of sequelitis. Of course, this name-changing game would continue, with a movie called After Death getting the Zombie 4 title in Japan and being released on DVD in America as Zombie 4 After Death, and England would end up naming it Zombie Flesh Eaters 3. As for Zombie 5, it would also come out as a renaming of a movie called Killing Birds and follow the same suits for its American and British release, as other titles in their name change zombie series. This would continue on for quite a while, with random movies getting retitled as zombie sequels, like Absurd getting renamed Zombie 6 Monster Hunter. And these movies aren't the only ones that had this happen, with multiple different movies catching renames to a random number in the zombie series in different countries. Too many to name, honestly, as it just gets more confusing as time went on, with distributors trying to cash in on a somewhat well-known franchise for their home media releases of horror movies. In fact, if you go looking, you'll find 3 or 4 different Zombie 3 or Zombie 4, as those seem to be the most popular for renaming. You see, kids, this is what happens when you don't spade or neuter your horror movies. So what is your favorite renamed movie that has been added to the Zombie franchise? How many have you seen? And most importantly, have you fed your local zombies today?